This is part C of this analysis assignment from Unit 3. The excerpt is Mozart's. It says Piano Sonata in D major, Crucial 576, the Allegretto. All right, we've got some symbols here. I'm going to just put them above the score. So here's a little unit. It's sequenced up. So it's a melodic sequence. I can't say that this passage is sequential because the bass line does not participate. This does not replicate what that did up a step, but the melody does. So here's a motive. If we call it X, we're getting it again here. Now that makes me think sentence structure. So let's see if we get the right proportions and some degree of contrast here. Well, this is quite different to have the quick dotted rhythm going on. This was some dotted rhythm too, but this is fresh. So we are getting something new. I'll go ahead and call it Y to distinguish it from the X material. And now how about length? Yeah, there's continuity here. I hope as you listen to it, you heard that it continues all the way to there. Look at the proportions then. We've got 2 bars, 2 bars, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 bars for this unit. Now, you may be tempted to make a cadence here, but look at how unstable this is. A, C sharp, E makes 5, 6 in the key of D, and that 5, 6 resolves to a 1. That's inverted. There's also the sense that I've stated something, I've stated again, and now I'm going higher, and it doesn't really close. That upward motion keeps things up in the air. So a number of factors make me think not even a cadence. So if I want to show this as one big unit, I'm going to need to do a sort of like this. And notice I'm not putting a break in at this level. These are subphrases, little units that join to form a phrase, and the cadence is going to come here and here only. I'm going to go back to that sentence structure in just a second because there's something very interesting going on here, but let me get the big picture first. So no cadence here, but a cadence here. There is no G or G sharp in here, but I think you could hear it as 5-1, 5-7 because of that D in there, 5-1 in the key of A. Let's see, how far back could I do that? Well, I could be thinking of this as A major already. 4. And then D, F sharp, A. In the first key, that's 1. But in the new key, A, that's 4. So I could pivot right in there. Okay. So you could make a case for hearing this in a new key and calling this a PAC. See the A up top as well. You could say PAC in A, or you could think of it as a half cadence and not think of it as a modulation at all. And I would take either one of those. If it's a half cadence though, that's pretty significant for our first question, which is this a period? If it's a half cadence, that's not closure, and you'd have to say that's not applicable here. We have an inconclusive cadence, not a conclusive one. If you say this, you could make a case for it being a period and say this is a one-phrase period. So I would take either one of those answers. I think I prefer this one, just because I don't. When I listen to it, I don't hear it as being a very conclusive cadence in the first place. And that means that I prefer this answer. No. Or you could say none. Periods? None. Now let's think about sentence structure. We've identified sentence structure here. It satisfies on 2 levels. For 2 reasons. One is the motivic pattern, statement, statement, some degree of contrast. And then durationally, you've got unit, unit, something twice as long. Now, let me make that down here so that I can make another point that this, the continuation, is also a sentence. So we have sentences going on here. Do you see how this is also a sentence? If we call this X, X, and Y, we can subdivide the Y into littler chunks here because of the repetition going on there. See that measure 5 and measure 6 have similar content? You've taken the melody, so again a melodic sequence that goes down a second. We can give that some sort of a label, maybe from the middle of the alphabet. Keep it fresh. M, and I think that's pretty different, so we better give it N. Some fresh label there. M, N to show the contrast. Look at the durations. This was 2, 2, and 4, but this is 1, 1, and 2. So either way, you do have these proportional relationships. However long the motive is, call that your unit. Repeat that unit length and then double it for the third part, the continuation. In other words, we have, in this case, a sentence within a sentence. The continuation of the bigger sentence is itself a sentence. And that creates quite a dynamic to it, because as you experience the music, you're hearing something that's 2 bars long, something that's 2 bars long, then 1 bar, and then back to 2. So there's an intensification that occurs here as things speed up. And if you take a look at the harmony, or actually the harmonies don't speed up, they just keep trucking along until here. And so there is a speeding up process that happens in the harmonies too, but it's not quite coordinated with the melody. More important is the rise, I think. You go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and now 5 with some embellishment around it. See the double neighbor? So the peak, so the point of arrival and climactic culmination comes right here with that A, and that's coordinated with the speeding up process in the melody. So there's a neat dynamic that comes with putting sentences within sentences, and you find that a lot in Beethoven. Mozart here is doing it as well. So sentences, yes, 2 of them. In fact, one inside the other, and our diagram helps show how that works. Let's move on to D.